Okay, let's talk about getting you hired as a top-tier backend engineer. I've been a lead engineer for a while now, and I've seen a lot of languages, but Go is here to stay. It's the engine behind some of the biggest systems out there. So what I'm going to do today is give you the exact roadmap I give my own junior devs to get them up to speed and crushing it by 2026.
So here's the game plan. We're going to start with why Go is such a big deal. Then we'll get into your first steps, the nitty-gritty. From there, we'll build up your core skills, talk about turning that code into a career, and of course, how to absolutely nail the interview. And at the end, I'll wrap it all up into that 2026 roadmap I promised.
All right, first things first, let's talk about the power of Go. Look, I want you to understand why learning this language isn't just checking another box. It's a strategic career move, especially if you're all in on backend.
So you gotta ask yourself, why are the heavy hitters, companies like Uber, Dropbox, Trivago, betting their entire businesses on Go? It's not random, I'll tell you that. They're dealing with millions of people hitting their services at the same time. They need something that's rock solid and screaming fast. For them, Go isn't just a language, it's the core of their infrastructure.
And it really all comes back to its DNA. Go was cooked up at Google. And what does Google have? Massive, complex systems. So they built a language for themselves, really. Something simple enough that a huge team can work on it without stepping on each other's toes, something incredibly efficient, and something that just performs. That's Go in a nutshell.
Now, here's one of the secret sauces to Go's speed. It's a compiled language. Think of it like this. An interpreted language, like Python or JavaScript, is like a translator reading a book out loud, one sentence at a time. It's flexible but slow. Go, on the other hand, is like getting the entire book translated into the final language before you even start reading. It's already in the native machine code. That pre-translation step gives it a huge speed boost, which is absolutely critical when your server is getting hammered with requests. Okay, so you're sold on the why. Let's get into the how. We're talking about your first steps. And listen, every single pro out there started right here. You can't skip this part. You just can't. This is the playbook I hand out on day one. First, just get your environment working. Don't overthink it. Then, live and breathe the absolute basics. Variables, constants, all the different data types. And as soon as you have a handle on that, and I mean immediately, go build a tiny command line tool. It forces you to actually use what you've learned and makes it real. And when I say basics, I mean these basics. Slices, maps, structs. These are your bread and butter. And pointers? You have to understand pointers. They're not as scary as they sound, I promise. But getting how these things work with memory, that's the line between someone just playing around with Go and a real professional engineer. Okay, once you're feeling solid with the fundamentals, it's time to unlock the fun stuff. This is where we go from just writing code to understanding what makes Go a beast for backend development.
I like to think of Go's power as resting on these three pillars. You've got its killer feature, concurrency. We'll talk more about that. Then you have the unsung hero, garbage collection. It just cleans up your memory messes for you, which saves you from so many headaches. And finally, the standard library. It's like having a massive, high-quality toolbox right from the start. So, concurrency. This is Go's superpower. It's not some add-on. It was designed from the ground up to do many things at once. We use these things called Goroutines and channels to do it. And honestly, it feels way more intuitive than in other languages. This is why Go can handle a flood of requests to an API without breaking a sweat.
I drill this into my team constantly. It's your secret weapon. Before you go searching online for some third-party package, just stop. Check the standard library first. Chances are there's a super optimized, battle-tested tool in there for exactly what you need, whether it's building a web server or parsing JSON. It keeps your projects clean, lean, and dependency-free.
All right, big shift here. Knowing how to write Go code is one thing. Being a professional Go engineer, that's a whole different game. Let's talk about what that really means.
These right here, these are your table stakes. They're non-negotiable. You have to know Git. You have to write tests. Not because I said so, but because it's how we build software that doesn't fall apart. You need to know how to structure your project with Go modules and how to hunt down bugs. This stuff is what separates the hobbyists from the pros. So, you've put in the work, you've got the skills, now comes the boss battle, the interview. Let's talk about how to walk in there and show them you know your stuff. Look, I'm just going to tell you right now, you will get asked about data structures and concurrency. It's a guarantee.
It's the core of what makes Go special. So you can't just know how to use them. You have to be ready to talk about why you chose one approach over another. What are the trade-offs? That's what they want to hear.
And this is your cheat sheet for that conversation. Don't just walk in and say, I know Goroutines. No, talk about patterns. Talk about when you'd use a worker pool to chew through a ton of jobs, or a fan-in/fan-out pattern to crunch data in parallel and bring it all back together. Using this vocabulary shows you've actually built real things.
Want a pro tip that'll make you stand out? Be ready for this question. It's about connecting the dots. Don't just say Go has garbage collection. Explain how that makes services more stable by preventing memory leaks. Don't just say it's statically typed. Explain how that catches bugs before the code ever gets to production. That's a senior level answer right there.
Okay, we've covered a ton. The why, the how, the professional stuff, the interview. Let's put it all together. This is the roadmap. This is your clear path to becoming a legit, hireable Go developer.
And here's how I'd break it down. Give yourself a couple of months to just nail the syntax and fundamentals. Don't rush it. Then spend the next 2 months building a real REST API using only the standard library. That's a huge learning experience. After that, it's time to really dive deep into concurrency. Then I seriously recommend contributing to an open source project. You'll learn so much about how real teams work. From there, you're ready for the big leagues, system design, and more complex projects.
Look, the most important thing, and I can't stress this enough, is you have to build stuff. Reading books isn't enough. Start small. A little command line tool, then a basic REST API for a to-do list or something. Then, level up. Build a web scraper that uses concurrency to go faster. Each project teaches you something new, and more importantly, it gives you something to show an employer. And hey, just so you know, you're not doing this in a vacuum. Right now, there are thousands of other developers out there on this same exact journey, almost 8,000 in fact. That's a massive community you can tap into for help and motivation. So, there you have it. The roadmap is clear. The language is powerful as heck, and companies are desperate for good Go developers. I've given you the plan. The real question is, what are you going to build first? Time to get to work.